Okay, so I started to hang out because I'm kind of bored. I mean, I'm doing some work here. Don't get me wrong. I'm never, without something to do. I got lots of paperwork I'm doing, but at the same time, I figured it's been a minute, and we haven't really, had a hangout. I certainly haven't been in one in a long while, and I thought, well, you know what? Maybe this is a good opportunity to get some paperwork done, and at the same time have people come in and talk about the trending topics in the world today. There are many. I mean, I don't think we've ever been in a time where there is so much to talk about. Now, with that being said, clearly, and I mean this with all due respect, there are a lot of people on one side of the argument, which I refer to as the world slaves, those that have conformed to the world, and that just they're so caught up in the snares of this world that they're literally incapable. And I'm to the point where not all, but I would say a vast majority of people they're done. I mean, that there's no other word that seems to describe their situation better than that. They're done. If the world, in its desire to have you conform to it, would be that it wants you to be fully in submission to the world and the ways of the world, or if the world, in its desires, and being a Christian, I clearly believe, as a fundamental Christian, that Satan is the small g god of this world, meaning that he has dominion over the world, and in his dominion he has a plan, and that plan would be that you would be conformed to the ways of the world, that you would not come to know Jesus Christ, so that your spirit would be given life. And then of course your soul, in now residing with a spirit with life rather than death, would want to conform to the ways of the spirit, which is the image of God. And Satan doesn't want that. So he has created a system cleverly that has snared and blinded many, 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 many people to not come to know Jesus Christ, which is the only truth in the life. There is no other way back to the Father but through him, because only through Jesus Christ can your spirit be given life, and dead spirits send souls to hell. So your soul, if it is not united with a spirit of which is given life through Christ, well, you are absolutely 100% being put in a position where you have no other choices. Once you leave this life, if you have not accepted Christ and had your soul given life, then your soul by default must go to hell. So with that being said, I thoroughly believe that many, 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 many people in this world are condemned. And that's, Jesus Christ said he didn't come to bring peace, he came to divide. And I think we're seeing that division as we speak. We're seeing the people that are condemned. You see, I can't condemn you. Jesus Christ didn't come to condemn, because you're already condemned. If you have a dead spirit, you are condemned to go to hell. That's literally how it works. And the only way that you come out of that condemnation is with a spirit that is given life through Jesus Christ. That's it. That, salvation is very, very simple. You believe with all of your heart, soul, mind that Jesus Christ died on that cross for your sins. You receive the Holy Spirit. Your spirit is given life. Your soul begins to conform to the ways of the Spirit. It begins to want to live the will of God rather than the ways of the world. And then you start going through the process of sanctification and having your faith challenged so that you could become a disciple and ambassador of Christ. And, unfortunately, this world is doing everything in its power to prevent that from happening, that you would be a victim to the ways of the world, and that your soul by default, because Jesus Christ said you're either for me or against me, so your soul by default will end up in hell. And that's the bottom line. That it's not going to get any more true than that. And for those of you that don't understand that being born again is being born again of the Spirit, Jesus Christ, you can't be born again in the flesh. Come on, smarten up. You're born again of the Spirit. And being born again of the Spirit is literally what I've just stated, that you accept Jesus Christ and your spirit of which is dead in sin, because the wages of sin are death. And then he died for sin. And when he was on the cross and he said, Father, why have you forsaken me? That is when his spirit died. For the very first time, he was without the Father, of which his entire life he was one with the Father. So he experienced what we are like, dead in spirit and away from the Father, away from the Creator in our entire lives, until we accept Christ and our spirits are given life. So it sounds deep, but the truth of the matter is that it really isn't deep. When you understand this world and you understand, the truth of this world, that this world is greatly, greatly deceived. I mean, it couldn't be any more deceived. Lord. I wish I could just wake people up to the reality, because there are so many people that, I like. Don't get me wrong. There are people that I like in the world, here in the world. I like them, but they have dead spirits. That's the truth. They're dead in their spirits, and because they're dead in their spirits, it becomes very difficult to explain to them the truth. They can't. When you're dead in your spirit, the truth isn't going to resonate with you. Jesus Christ said that he was the truth and the life. The life is your spiritual life, that your spirit would be given life. That's what he's talking about. He's the truth and the life. And once your spirit has been given life, and that it is now resurrected in the body, that it now has life, you begin to have the lenses of your worldview change. The closer your soul gets to the Spirit, the closer it gets to God. And, you start having these revelations. You start having the ways of the world revealed to you, that you would start learning things about this world that maybe, just maybe, you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know them. I'll tell you what, I love people. I love humanity. I love this thing called faith. I mean, I love the Lord. I'm over here in the Dominican Republic. For most of you that know, I'll just give you a quick update. I have been made the leader of a beautiful ministry in that I minister to recovering drug addicts. Now, I've been a drug addict in Canada, and I've been to some rehabs. Well, maybe not rehabs. I don't think I ever really did them. I did a couple of detoxes, and I was in a couple of drug rehabilitation houses where, you go through the recovery process of going through the 12-step program, the blue book, the meetings, so on and so forth. Just a second. My maid just wants to speak. Yes, dear. Hola. Outside? Yeah. No español. Okay. I was outside. What do you, broom or mop? Outside, in the back, like look around outside. Okay. Sorry about that. That's going to be horrible on this. At any rate, she's just a temporary help that we've got for the day. Our regular maid is not feeling well. So at any rate, back to what I was saying. So yeah, I'm working a ministry here in the Dominican. It's a drug rehabilitation ministry. A restoration ministry, to be real honest, is what would probably be best described as. These guys are in drug rehab. Now, drug rehab in a third world country, I probably don't have to get into great detail to explain to you guys that, drug rehab in a third world country
it makes drug rehab in Europe and in Canada and in the US. I mean, it makes our rehab facilities look like, the Hilton. It's crazy. I mean, these guys are on dirt floors. They literally, and I'm not even joking, they don't have any food. No, I know, maybe you didn't hear me. They don't have any food. I'm not talking about they got, a couple of boxes of Kraft dinner stuck behind in a cupboard somewhere and a half a bag of milk. No, they don't have any food. They literally depend on people coming by with donations, or they go out once a week to the market and beg for food. I mean, if we're going to put it honestly, they beg for food. And so I'm a very big part of it. I'm very, very happy that I have been selected by our church to be able to do that. I love these men that are suffering from these drug addictions. They're beautiful men. We've been able to really speak to their hearts through Christ. And I can't be any happier with God giving me a ministry than I am with that one. I really, really enjoy it. We go to the drug rehabs as often as possible. We bring tons of food. It's a joy. Honestly, it is an absolute joy to be a part of that ministry. Another ministry that I'm involved in is called Hope. Now, Hope, I think Indiana is where Hope began, Indiana in the U.S., but Hope there is, more about helping, people that have come off the streets or come out of prison or come, out of a system or drug addiction, so on and so forth. And they build these transition homes, these Hope houses, to be able to transition them into the world, which I think is again, amazing. My mother, for most of you that know, killed my father, and then another man. She ended up doing life in prison. When she got out, she was involved heavily, before she wrote her book, she was involved with a group called Bridge. And Bridge, what they did was a similar thing, that they helped people transition to get over the bridge from the old life to the new life. And so Hope, in a sense, is very similar. Hope here in the Dominican, the one that I'm involved with, specifically here in Santo Domingo, my church, I couldn't be happier with the church that I'm involved with. These are really, really beautiful people. The pastors are family, the mother, the father, the grandparents. I mean, it's just a big family of beautiful Dominican pastors. And if you've never witnessed Dominican church or sat and listened to Dominican worship, I just want to tell you that when it says to worship in truth and in spirit, that's exactly what they do. They worship in truth and in spirit. But okay, so the grandparents, of which whom are as well pastors, donated their house to this ministry called Hope. And what Hope is here in the Dominican, of which I'm very much a part of, and I love, is there are a lot of really, really bright, and I mean bright, young Dominican people. And, they end up hitting this wall. They do so well in high school and through the public school systems. And I was shocked, actually. When I first came here, I went to go pick up my wife's children in their school. And the schools here are houses. They're not great big facilities. The public schools are houses. The high schools are houses. I actually live right across the street from a public school, where the kids come, 8 o'clock in the morning screaming and yelling and playing. And it's literally an identical house to my house. So the schools here are not these great big facilities with gymnasiums and basketball courts and lunch rooms and several floors and different hallways. They're houses. And that's where these kids are all crammed into these bedrooms and these living rooms and these dining rooms and these separate little rooms in these homes, with their little desks, and that's where they learn, which I found fascinating. But at any rate, so they, a lot of these really, really intelligent Dominican children that end up, becoming young adults after high school, and they've done so well. Like, I mean, with IQs that are like just, it's a shame that a lot of these very intelligent young people end up getting lost in their own poverty because there's no hope. There's no hope after their educations, after they graduate. They just don't have the funds. They don't have the means to be able to further their education, to go on to college and to make a career for themselves. So, they fall to the wayside. A lot of them end up becoming, single mothers, or they end up becoming, they end up on the streets and they're doing whatever. I won't go into detail, but what I'm trying to say is that this ministry that I'm involved in called Hope, we provide a home and the finances for these kids to further their educations. And it's amazing because they think it's over for them. They're trying to get through high school to get the best grades they can. And then, they hit that wall of poverty at the end where going to college or university is unspeakable. And so this ministry that I'm involved in with Hope, we house 20 students. The first home is going to be for young girls. Apparently, there's a lot of really, really smart young girls here. I'm not going to say that the boys aren't as smart. And so this home has security. That they have 24-hour security. They have a maid service. We have somebody in the home that cooks for them and lives with them and takes care of them. And we're trying to put fans because it's very hot here in the Dominican. So we're trying to make sure that there's fans for every room, and beds and bedding and plates and cups and mugs and towels and just every single possible thing that a home would need. Furniture, desks. Couches, and it just we're really trying to build this so that they have the comforts of home, but at the same time they're able to pursue a life. And so that is another ministry that I'm very, very happy with. What else is going on? I still own my business, and I'm still working very hard, and I'm actually trying to expand my business into a different direction that frees my time, that I'm able to do more of God's work as opposed to, running this business. At my age, at 56 years old, this I've been doing this business now for a very long time. And fortunately for me, God has put me into a business where I can create it in a sense that it allows itself to run itself, and that it can, be a consistent flow of money without me having to grind a 9-to-5. So I thank God for that. What else am I doing? I'm married. You guys know that. I have a beautiful wife, Carolina. She's absolutely wonderful. Oh, our anniversary. We've been married 1 year. And that was on the 2nd of March. Now, that was the civil wedding where you're in a different country, so you have to go to the civil wedding. And then our actual wedding of blessing with our pastors and the church and God, I believe, I better not get this wrong, I believe it's the 12th of March. So at any rate, that's coming up. Now, I'm preaching. I'm taking a disciples course. I'm doing a lot of studying. I'm still researching the truth, because I am a thorough believer that Satan is the god of this world. I am a thorough believer that we live in serious times. I am a thorough believer that the world is greatly deceived. And to what degree, I would, I guess I would have to say to the nth degree, that, just when I think something isn't a deception, it is. Just when I open a door and I go, oh, okay, here's some truth, it's a lie. And so for me, I have come to a ultimate conclusion that, as we turn over these rocks in this search for truth, this world is absolutely 100% greatly deceived. So I invite for this particular hangout, everybody. This is an open hangout. I will put the link here in the chat. because for me it's okay. You know, we can just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm not concerned if the hangout gets destroyed or booted or beat up or punched out or mocked or insulted. That's fine too. I've been on the planet long enough to accept that. I've as well been in this community long enough to accept that. So we're going to talk about many things. I see that one of my very, very, very special, wonderful, amazing friends has arrived. And her name is Preet, also known as the doubting. Let me get this straight now. The doubting peasant. I don't like that word peasant for you, but okay, I'll accept it. How are you, Preet? What's going on, my dear friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm doing some work here. I've got lots of files to go through, so I can kind of do that while I do this. There'll be moments when I'm probably distracted, and I'm tired.
You know why I picked the name The Doubting Peasant? I know, I hate the word peasant too, but that's exactly why I had to pick it.
Okay, and I understand it, oddly enough.
Yeah, I think you do too.
Because to them,
we are peasants. Yep.
Yeah, to them, we're useless eaters, right?
Yep, we're peons.
They literally refer to us as useless eaters. And here's, what I put on my Facebook today. I was talking about, all of these people. It's just, I don't know. It's very hard for me, Preet, to wrap my head around blatant stupidity coming from people that boast overwhelming intellect. If you're stupid and you do something stupid, I'm okay with it. Hey, look, I'm not the sharpest guy on the planet. I do some stupid stuff, and I would expect people to go, yeah, it's Randy. Of course, he's going to do something stupid now and again. But I have a real issue with people that boast how smart they are, and just can't get the simplest of truths. And I'll just speak about this.
Yeah, did you see my latest post? I mean, that's how smart people are when you have to remind them of that.
Yes, I did see it, and that's exactly one of the things that triggered me thinking on these terms right now. So here's something, Preet, that you and I can giggle at behind the backs of the overwhelmingly intellectual. All of these people that are protesting against Donald Trump's, and I don't want to make any mistakes. I'm not a Donald Trump fan as yet, but he's doing some things I like. So at any rate,
yeah,
these people that are protesting against extreme vetting and shutting down borders and building walls and protecting America at a much different level. The people that are protesting, I'm talking about the celebrities and the so-called liberal leaders and the authorities of the world. These are the people that are like screaming and yelling and shouting, like people like Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna and Alyssa Milano, and just I could go through a list of these liberal people that are celebrities screaming, "Hey, you can't have a list vetting people, and you can't put up walls and security guards preventing people from coming into the country." And these are the exact same people that when they have their award nights or their celebrity parties or events, they have a list at the door, and if your name is not on the list, you're not coming in.
Exactly.
They have right? They have walls and they have security, and you'll be arrested and thrown in jail and thrown off the premises if you even attempt to get into one of their events if you're not on their vetting list. And okay, I get that they are that arrogant, Preet. I get it. What I don't get is that all of these super intelligent, self-professing know-it-alls are agreeing with them without actually looking at the truth. And the truth is, you couldn't find a celebrity or an authority in this world that doesn't have some form of protection, whether it's a wall around their property, a bodyguard, or a handgun in the glove box of their truck. I don't. It just I don't get it. Like you don't realize that these people are telling you you're not allowed to have security, but they are. And these people are agreeing with them. Yeah, Madonna's right. Rosie O'Donnell's 100% right, and yeah, they're smarter than us. They're celebrities. Of course, we should listen to what they say. And it baffles me. I just that kind of stupid. I don't do well with. Like I said, I do okay. I'm not the sharpest guy. I make mistakes. Believe me. And when I do, certain people like my wife or my kids or people that really, 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 really know me, when I make these types of mistakes, they'll say, "Oh, Randy, of course he forgot his keys at the office. Of course he forgot to get gas, and now he's ran out of gas, at the end of the street." Because, we're human and we're going to make those types of errors. But I don't profess to be the smartest person in G plus Preet. But we know a few people that do, right? And those people are the people that I'm talking about. And have you left me, Preet?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, so we know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right, we're aware of the people that claim to be, that claim to be the smartest people on the planet, that claim to be, our go-tos for our information and our knowledge, and if you go against anything they say, well, you're just an out-and-out idiot. You're a moron.
Pretty much.
Now, how's things with this Pizzagate? I see that you've put up a lot of really, really good videos. I was watching something, actually. Now, what did you have me watch?
Yeah, what?
Let me look at my history. You had me watching something earlier. Oh, yes. This Podesta Pizza Mansion surrounded by kids.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a Google Earth.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. That is, you had me watching that today. What else did you have me watching? You get me to watch a lot of things. You're pretty good at putting up videos.
I shared the video about they dug up graves of 800 children who were ritual sacrifices in Ireland.
Yeah, I seen that too. You've been putting a lot of time and effort in to your research, and I think that you've learned a few lessons, Preet. And I just want to congratulate you on that, because when we come into this truth, dear, we come in when you first accept Christ and you're born again, you're on fire, and you're a baby Christian, and you're knocking over tables and chairs and trying to get the truth out the door to the people that don't know it. So the same thing with this truth is that when you first come to, oh my gosh, look what I just found out, and it resonates with you to be true. We want everybody to know, right? Like, we want to expose this truth, right? And so you start talking to certain people, and you start saying and asserting certain things, and then we get caught. I'm the same, trust me. We get caught up where we didn't have the information, we didn't provide the links, but I'll be honest with you, quicker than most people I've seen coming into this truth, you have really figured out how to dot your I's and cross your T's.
No, thank God.
Right, because
yeah, I'm so done with people. Just expose their hypocrisy and move on.
Well, yeah, it's I'm not even going to mention this individual's name. He's one of the more, how should I put it? He's one of the more obvious anti-truth, anti-Christians in the community. And, you know, you can find him pretty much every Tuesday evening mocking and insulting anybody that isn't, you know, sitting on his panel in full agreement with everything.
And he only does it on his turf. You invite him over and, you know, ask him like, hey, if you're such a tiger, come on over to my turf and see if you can defend yourself. He'll cower, and he backed it down. And that's why, and I knew that would happen. That's why I was like, you know what, let me just put out this public challenge and then have him admit it publicly. And then, you know what, every time somebody says like, oh, well, he's asking or we're asking, well, I'll say, hey, I gave you a chance. You turned me down. And that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, and that's what I did with them a long time ago. I had a pretty big channel, a couple of big channels, and I shut them down. And I've done my channel, Mr. Campbell, and obviously this one here. And now I don't just allow anybody to sub me. If you sub me and you're going to be like that, I just block you. And I have zero time for it. I don't care about having 10, 20,000 subscribers. I would rather have 100 good, truth-seeking, respectable Christians than 10,000 trolls. I have no time for it. At any rate, guess who just entered the building? One of the sharpest flat earthers on the planet. He's sharp, man. I got to give it to you, MG. You are literally my go-to for what's new on the flat earth. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, good to be here. Happy to be here. It's a beautiful Sunday midday right now, just chilling, and I like what I'm hearing so far. And I got to say, you know what? I'm proud of Preet. She was going in a direction, you know, going up against these idiots. And she finally, basically, you know, stood up for herself in a sense where she doesn't give in to anybody anymore. But, you know, it's a hard thing because Preet is exposing humanity. And it's the worst thing that it's actually the worst face of truth that you could find is when humanity turns its back on children. And I feel for her because, I mean, she's now going 3 months of this now, and people are just turning their backs. And even Christians, as we have supposedly, so-called Christians, yes. I guess, I mean, I've seen it on TV, so I believe, you know, and it's fake news, so it must be fake news because I saw it on TV. So you're dealing with the nastiest topic in the world, the most disgusting. Not that it's new though. There's nothing new under the sun. This is an expose of what's been going on through the powers that be for thousands of years, and it's so disgusting that it's so hard to look at. It's so hard to research, and people go crazy doing it. And then to do all the research and put time into it, and then not only be attacked by people not on your side, then to be told that you're crazy by people on your own side. I mean, it's just so. It's disgusting at this point. I feel bad for you, Preet, because it's such a hard battle right now.
Yeah, I think Christians more so. Like, if I like, I don't even get hurt by, you know, anybody anymore because I just, you know, there's just so much that I've seen. But at first, I used to really get, you know, bummed out about not non-Christians, like, you know, not believing it or giving me hell over it, but Christians. That's who I used to, like, you know, get very dismayed about. I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's usually the same people that mock the flat Earth, that mock any truth that's waking groups of people up. And that's what you'll notice, that the birds of a feather flock together. They're all of the same breed. They're haters. They're scoffers. You know, the Bible exposes them and talks about them walking after their own lusts or walking after whatever they want, or their space collection, or their action figures, or their posters, or their I don't know what's so great that to hold on to this scam when you're never going to go to space. No one in your family ever will. Or ever has, and you'll be lucky if you even touch one of these firecrackers, and this is your religion. And it's the same people who need that government, who need these puppet masters, who need the evil and power to tell us what's important, to tell us that space is important, the Earth doesn't matter. Oh, and by the way, that's fake news. We would never do such a thing. It's all tied together.
Well, what's baffling is that, well, why would any human being want another human being to tell them what to think? I don't understand
Exactly.
that need.
Right. Why would I go around asking everybody else, what should I believe? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the rest of my life going to Christians and say, show me Christ. Yeah, because that's how I found him, right? I found Jesus Christ going around, banging on everybody's window at 1 o'clock in the morning, then running away. That works every time.
Exactly, and I liked what you had said to what is his name? I have seen, so therefore I believe.
Yeah,
Like
I've seen it on
he is
TV.
the most confusing Christian that I've run into. It's like, no, the person who was commenting, I have seen I've seen, so I believe. I guess that's his screen name. And he's like the most confusing Christian. It's like he'll say one thing on one end and then he'll go say another. I'm like, you're confusing the heck out of me. It's like you talk out of both sides of your mouth, and I'm like, I just don't get you anymore.
I don't think he's a real person. I don't believe it. I don't believe he's a real person.
understand him.
I don't believe he's a
He
real
doesn't make
person.
any sense.
Can't be real. There's got to be trolls all around us that are just fakes. That has to be one of them. I mean, he doesn't listen to anything and calls anybody a demon. As soon as I open my mouth, you're a demon. And Rand's a demon, and then he stalks you.
Even the things that he does say don't make sense. What he's saying doesn't make sense.
No, he's a noob. I mean, he's just a scared little guy that likes.
That's why I gave him like
space.
this blank smiley face that like I have no idea what you're even saying.
No, you can't tell him. You can't tell somebody they're eating an orange and they're telling you they're eating a banana, and you're telling them, no, you're eating an orange. It doesn't matter. It's not about the evidence. These people are blind. These people are psychotic. And it doesn't matter if you call yourself a Christian or an atheist. It's not about titles. It's your fruit. It's what are you doing? How are you approaching things? Are you a true skeptic? Do you actually look into things, or do you just make claims and then hide behind the term Christian?
Yeah, that's and that one of the things that I said on that very thread was when JD started going off on like, oh, she had a chance, she couldn't make her case. I'm like, look, you duplicitous shill. Every information that you asked for, I gave to you, and then you flat out admitted to me you're too lazy to read it through it all and look at it for yourself. So there's no curing a lazy person. I'm sorry, there's just not. And there's no remedying a person who doesn't have a heart. You need to grow the heart enough to care, to want to not be lazy.
Yeah, I think it's disturbing. I got to be honest with you. Just the way people are approaching subjects. It was already bad enough with Flat Earth. I understand how you can hide from Flat Earth because that's going to ruin your religion. But how could you hide from the screams of children? Oh, because those are your religious masters. That's why.
Yeah, because atheist children, atheists have children too. Their children can get kidnapped just as easily as a Christian's children. Like, they don't discriminate when it comes to like whose child we're gonna take. Hey, Arcane.
What up? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yep. Hey, Arcane.
What up? What up?
We're exposing some shills, bro.
Coming out the damn woodworks, man. I don't know what's going on lately.
You know how many we found? all
Dude,
of
my
them.
block list, I'm blocking like 6 a day on average.
Yeah, we found all of them. they're everywhere. It's all of them.
Oh shoot. Yeah, man, it's getting out of hand, dude. Not a
Oh,
flat
it's
earth
sick.
about now. There's no hope for you. It's just.
Oh, now we got other Christians telling Preet to show them evidence. Show us the evidence. Show us this case. Show us any of these
The children
things you
are
believe in.
getting
Yeah. No.
abused.
Show us more than children. No, we need to see. Show us more than that. No, we need to see real evidence.
Enough.
No, a guy
Uh,
actually pleading guilty is not enough. This guy pleads guilty. He gets 6 months for who knows. Well, I don't even want to say. It makes me so sick what this guy did with whatever this Pizzagate stuff. It's not the same case. There's many cases. It's not just one issue. There are thousands and countless. This one guy pleads guilty, and this is fake news. How is it
Who's the
fake
guy?
news when this guy pleads guilty? Can you please explain that to me?
Who you guys talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about
happened?
doing the, going around exposing Pizzagate and getting approached by even Christians now saying, show me the evidence. Actually, his name is, you'll know him. I have seen it on TV, so I believe it.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, it can't
Wait,
be a
so
real
who pled
Christian. That's
guilty?
my point. Is I think he's a fake person. Can't be real.
Arcane, what's up, brother? I'm here. My wife just got in, so I'm doing kind of 3 things at once. But I'm listening.
Oh man, I don't blame you. Take care of that beautiful wife, man. How's it going?
Yeah, things are good, brother. Lots of ministries I'm working with. I kind of introduced them at the beginning of the talk. I'm involved with a drug rehab ministry here, which is amazing. Yeah, just work, bro. Doing what I got to do, keeping a faith in a world that is completely upside down. I'll tell you what, I pray for you guys every day, and thank God that there are men and women in this body of Christ that have the courage to step up and not only look for the truth, but be okay with finding it and presenting it with the love that, sometimes isn't so easy to do.
Amen, brother. Yeah, pray for America, dude. We got some issues.
Boy, do we have some issues.
Get out of here, dude. I feel like I'm losing a piece of my soul every day I wake up in this place.
Oh, I feel you.
Just want to move to the jungle, say screw it all. But yeah, I haven't followed like this Pizzagate too heavy, like, because I already know that, they're full of pedophiles and they're sick bastards. I don't really need any more proof, you know what I mean? But like, it only took me like a couple of days really looking into it to see that something was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to look too much further into it. So the fact that people are like challenging this still is really, really scary. It's really weird.
It's unbelievable.
Like, what more do they want?
Yeah, I mean, they keep saying that, oh, why haven't victims stood up? I'm sorry. The victims who are able to stand up are now grown adults, and they are coming out and standing up. The other ones who are currently children are not standing up because, they're children.
Right.
It's like, how does it, like, you really have to be a dumb, grown up to think that, oh, I can't figure out why a child is not standing up. Like, really? How do you not process how a child is not standing up? You really have to be really dumb.
Willfully ignorant. I mean,
Or, yeah, intentionally.
Right. Like, they don't want to see it because it's such a harsh reality. It's kind of like and stuff like that. We know that this is like mind control is a real thing. And a lot of these kids, they're taken from birth and put into these situations. So to them, it's almost like it's normal to them, so until they're old enough to realize like, hey, I've been abused my whole life. And then by then they're not able to say anything. They're too far indoctrinated, too far brainwashed or scared at that matter. Wasn't it you that put out that video of that little kid screaming?
Yes.
Yeah, like like when you hear something like that, I mean, do you think that kid is gonna turn around and then have like be brave enough to go tell on whatever happened to that kid? Like, we heard the audio. It was freaking amazing.
Kids like those usually don't trust adults because ever since they were little, all they've ever known and seen of an adult human being is being an abuser to them. So why would they trust another adult?
Exactly. Well, what did you hear about those kids in Britain that came out and were talking about all the things
Yeah,
that happened to them, and then
Hampstead.
like
Yep.
yeah, Hampstead, they were talking like in such precise, like gruesome detail about things that no 6 or 7 year old should ever know.
And
I
people just
heard,
wrote them off.
yeah, like didn't
That's what
even bat
I.
an eye.
That's why, like, I don't know if you've been on my profile lately. I just put out a poster that I pinned to my profile. Take a look at that and tell me that's not true.
What happened with that case? Didn't the kids come out and
It went
say that
nowhere.
nowhere? That's crazy. Like, what about like, because these kids were talking about like the people that molested them having certain like tattoos and body marks and stuff like that,
Yep.
and
We've
no
actually
one
correlated
investigated that?
the Hampstead case back to Pizzagate.
Well, I'm
There's a
sure
link.
it's like a worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is worldwide. There's no way they could cover it up and keep it so exclusive for so long if they weren't tightly knit, like, across the world. Like they know what they're doing. Satanists aren't fools. You know what I mean? They're not going to be too sloppy with their stuff. But these kids, though, like
On one
they were
of the
describing.
Jimmy comment, James Alfontes of a Common Ping Pong owner, one of his Instagram profile pictures of a little child who was, according to the Instagram post, it says that this child was like, it was a newborn. And he had something on his face, and well, it's a she actually. This little tiny little newborn girl had something on her face, and people were like, "What the hell is that?" And so we changed the picture to make the picture black and white and contrast it so that we could make out what was on her face. It was a tattoo of a heart on this a picture, a burnt, or like how they like almost do that to cows where they um
Yeah.
like engrave,
Branded, yeah.
yeah, and brand the cow. It was a branded heart on this newborn little girl's face, a
Wow.
tiny little girl.
Hey, someone
Wow.
better tell Rand to come back.
And like these kids, uh, they're not, they're born into that. You know what I mean? Like you'll probably never see that kid. That kid is probably in some secure location in the middle of nowhere, and all they know is
Yeah,
satanic ritual abuse their whole life.
yeah.
And some of these kids that come out and write books and, go to the authorities, it's really far-fetched. It's an unrealistic type of scenario when you consider how powerful these predators are, like mind control and how much money and power they have. Like we have enough evidence now to really go after them, but face that hard reality,
This
man.
is their kryptonite. It really is. I mean, you start attacking this thing, their friggin' fangs that you never thought they had will come out.
It's crazy, man. Like who would want to support pedophiles? Like it's so weird.
Space is too important.
Too important. But like,
Nothing is too. Yeah, the whole
is it
nothing.
really our
Yep.
first reaction to like if a kid comes up and says, or if there's evidence that a kid has been molested or like abused,